People think El Fasher has always been a place of war. That belief is wrong. My name is Noreen, and this is Real Africa Stories. So right now, El Fasher is one of the main flashpoints in Sudan's civil war. It's caught between rival armed forces, cut off from aid, and home to hundreds of thousands of displaced people. But that moment in time is not its identity. When people hear El Fasher today, they think of siege, hunger, collapse. But that is not the full story, and it never was. So for a moment, let's remember El Fasher for what it was. El Fasher was not a forgotten town on the margins of history. It was a capital of the Darfur Sultanate, a sovereign African state long before colonial borders were drawn. The name El Fasher comes from Fasher, the royal court, and that matters. Because courts mean governance, they mean law, they mean systems, order and authority. This was a place where rulers governed, judges settled disputes, land was allocated, taxes were collected, and diplomacy mattered. El Fasher sat at the crossroads of Africa. Caravans passed through, linking West Africa, North Africa, the Nile Valley, and Central Africa. Gold, salt, livestock, leather, books, and ideas moved through this city. It was cosmopolitan in a deeply African way. Different peoples, different languages, different cultures held together through trade, faith, and shared systems. And faith mattered here. El Fasher was a center of Islamic learning. Quranic schools, legal scholars, poets, historians. Knowledge didn't sit still. It traveled with caravans across deserts between cities. This was not chaos. This was structure. 4 generations, El Fasher functioned within its own logic. African governance, African diplomacy, African solutions. The real rupture didn't come from within. It came in 1916, when the British dismantled the Darfur Sultanate and absorbed it into colonial Sudan. Power was removed, decision-making was centralized far away. Darfur was pushed to the margins politically, economically, socially. And when a place is stripped of its authority, its voice, and its resources, instability doesn't arrive overnight. It grows. And what we're seeing today is not the failure of El Fasher. It's disruption layered on top of disruption. And that control didn't just come through guns or borders. It came through writing, through schooling, through deciding whose knowledge counted and whose didn't. When people are taught to forget their own past, it changes how they see themselves, how they see their worth, and how they see their place in the world. That's why reclaiming these stories matters, because remembering isn't nostalgia, it's restoration. So I'm asking you today, what other African cities do you think we've been taught to forget? This is the Africa you're not shown, but I'm here to show you.